everyone. Thanks so much for joining us again on the Digital Economy Hub. Today we're joined by one of my long-standing clients at William Buck, Mary Saunders from Sage Insights. Welcome, Mary.
Hi, Laura.
So I've been really inspired by the transformation I've seen in Mary's business due to COVID, and I think it's a great example of what other businesses can do to change to adapt to the changing landscape. I was going to do an intro about you, Mary, but I thought you're probably better to introduce yourself. So can you tell us a bit about your background and where you were positioned pre-COVID?
Yes, well, I was fortunate to have had 17 years of being in business and having the best accountant to help me through my financial issues.
Got to throw that in.
Definitely. But I think the thing was that because I'm into people development, my whole business was based on my presentation skills with a group of people. And often it was managers or CEOs. We'd have one-on-one meetings, or we'd have small group, or I'd be doing whole day facilitation. So in my mindset, my whole business was around me transforming people to be better than who they think they are and want to be. In that, though, I felt like the face-to-face was being so effective, and I then moved back to South Australia. And with that, I was doing a lot of travelling back to Queensland, Victoria, as well as Sydney to service my clients. So I was travelling every month, and I was probably getting into the stage where my husband was getting unwell. I had a few other personal issues. We moved back to South Australia, and I redeveloped the business from a Queensland work and living at home. So I thought I'd done all my redevelopment. So I was doing really, really well. And just this year, I had the best lot of client-focused programs, and all the work that I had done, I felt like I was going to go full Zoom this year. But I didn't realize what Zoom actually meant when I kept telling everyone I'm Zooming ahead. So that brought me into March of this year.
And so obviously with COVID and you being in Adelaide and all your clients in Queensland, what did that mean for your initial prospects? What did you think it meant for your prospects of your business?
Well, I was very fortunate to get one with my major client, a visit there. And during that meeting, it was when the whole country said, we're going to go into the shutdown. So I was able to come back to Adelaide. And to tell you the truth, I really enjoyed the space, and I quite saw COVID as an opportunity. I think, oh, this is really good. It'd only be short term. Within 3 months, all of the contracts that I had set in place had all been postponed, cancelled, delayed, and particularly with this client. Then I thought, my gosh, what am I going to do? So I remember speaking to you about how am I going to survive? And fortunately, we were able to get some JobKeeper for me. So that took away that edge of how am I going to survive? And then I thought, okay, what do I do with all my clients? I help them to transition into change. So with the JobKeeper, I transitioned it into myself. I actually used that money to be able to work out how can I do this? My big client came back and said, Mary, we want to do things online. And I'm going, oh no. And I remember bursting into tears saying, this is not what I do. And he said, I believe it is, because I think you can work really well online. We do a lot of stuff online here in this organization. Why don't you try it? So I had to absolutely go against all of my own beliefs and move forward into this person's belief. And I used a JobKeeper to actually give me some transitioning for how I saw myself, which was really beneficial. Went to a branding organization who helped me incredibly. And then you let me know of a $10,000 IT grant. And with that, within South Australia, I was able to actually change all of my whole way of being. So now I'm sitting here in front of 3 computers. I feel like a gaming expert here. I've got my desk that can
with your little headset and everything.
Oh yes, and the headset. Don't forget the headset. And then I've got my desk that moves up and down, so because I like to move around when I'm actually delivering. Then I was looking at every YouTube clip of how to do this online. Then I experimented with a whole group of friends, and we had a lot of fun with it. And then I started going into doing for 40 people, developing those skills. And I remember saying to you one time, Laura, come and have a look at the shared screen with me. And I was writing on it. And you were even impressed with what I was able to do.
Yeah. No, so
and
that
then
was,
I think,
there you go.
I was just thinking the highlight was when you rang me and said, Mary, you've turned it around. Look at what you've earned this year. I had no idea that I was able to still get to my financial goals through this medium. And you were the one that made me aware of, hey, you can change and still get an income. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I was there through the little transition, and from seeing you very nervous and uneasy about Zoom, and then I saw you do a presentation to our staff for 3 hours, and there was the share screens and the breakout rooms and the whiteboards, and that was really impressive. That was when I'd seen that you'd completed your transformation. Well, that sort of, I suppose it's an ongoing thing.
Yes.
What new opportunities do you think that this transformation has allowed you to pursue?
To tell you the truth, I think it has been better for my clients. There is a bit of a distance in here. They could be sitting in their swimmers or their Ugg boots and in their home or in their office, and they can actually feel comfortable in their space. There's less traveling time, there's less expenses. The profit margin is greater in many ways because I am doing more in less time, and I would never have believed this until the whole world had stopped, and this is my way of reaching out to people. I think personally, though, I feel like I've got a life back. The work-life balance is much better. I hadn't realised the effect of travelling, the costs of catering, thinking about catering needs for people, people travelling, people getting in late, all of the things that start annoying you that stops the flow of what's happening in the communication. Admittedly, we had a few little annoyances with the online stuff, but we were able to work around it or just make another time. I'm doing more in less time, and I feel I'm being far more effective. And my clients, even when they're offered face to face, are now saying, no, I'd rather have the distance and to be able to keep it as professional as what we're doing. So
Wow,
that
that's
was a big,
amazing.
it was amazing. It is amazing. It really is. I actually had one client who did meet me face to face, and she said, oh, you are so different when you're face to face compared to the screen. I said, what do you mean? She said, I think that digital actually enhances how people appear. So I think she might have been referring to perhaps she didn't notice the wrinkles as much when I was on screen rather than
You
when I
must look
was
a lot
talking to
younger
her.
on Zoom, perhaps.
Well, I think that was the other thing. That's probably a personal thing too, is that my career can go for longer because the drain and energy involved in traveling or even face to face, setting up a room, the physical thing.
Mm.
I really believe that I can't even think of retiring, even though a lot of my peers are. I really thought that I could have had to give up on my business, but now I've created a business that will take me in for the next 10 or 15 years, and I'm absolutely delighted.
That sounds fantastic. You've actually answered the next question I had about being able to save time and improve on efficiencies, but you've touched on that already.
Yeah.
Do you foresee any additional digital transformations to take place in the future other than, Zoom, or you've kind of hit your comfortable spot now?
One thing that COVID has taught me and taught all my clients is comfortable only stays for a little while, because
Yeah,
I think the secret to anyone's success is to keep adjusting. And the digital environment, the other aspect that I need to be working on is the social media. As you know, Laura, it's something that I've actually resisted, and
yes.
now I'm feeling much more comfortable about getting a LinkedIn page, doing Google, getting Google reviews. I'm looking at life very, very differently, not to replace anything, but to add to what I'm
Yeah,
already doing. And I think that's a big difference. I'm not taking away, I'm adding. And that's
yeah.
been really valuable.
I think that's something that a lot of clients don't really see when you talk about transformation or changing their business. They think that they're trying to replace something with something else, whereas it's often expanding and adding different service lines.
Yeah.
So Mary, can you tell us about some of the challenges you had during your transformation onto Zoom and online interactions?
That's a really, really good question. I actually realized it was me that needed to transition, not my learning to adapt to the IT or the digital world. My belief in myself had to change, and with that, I opened up a window of what if. And when it was, what if I didn't have to travel? What if I could be with my aging husband and my aging self? What if I could find more space in a day to be able to give more to my clients and be more effective? What if?
Yeah,
And it's that what if, and then trying it. To tell you the truth, I wouldn't have been able to do it though without the support of other people who were using it. And I think William Buck has actually done a lot with their promotions to actually get to a whole lot of people that you would never have done before. I think your belief in what I'm doing, the fact that I have been able to work in your organisation and with you, and to make that so effective without having to leave my office, has been really, really inspiring for me and for the people who I'm dealing with. It's really given a new doorway.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that's given you a lot more opportunities to reach out to people that you don't necessarily interact with day to day, and we can share you with the world through the website and the Digital Economy Hub. So you
And
might reach
I'm
out
learning
to
from
me.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, I think if we can learn from each other as a team. So if you're looking at, well, even though I'm a sole trader in many ways in my company, I have many people supporting me that are sounding boards. And William Buck, I know a number of you in there, and the different angles that I can ask and get some feedback helps me to see different perspectives. The challenge is, how do I see the perspective with others, as well as myself, as well as my clients and my team? So thank you, Laura, for all that you and William Buck have actually done to help this transition for this year to be a really good one for me.
Thanks so much, Mary, and thanks so much for joining us today. I'll let you get back to it.
Thank you. About to write up some notes. Bye.